New at 5, I'm sitting down with candidates running for both Michigan's 10th Congressional District and U.S. Senate, profiling each of their campaigns. And after profiling Representative John James yesterday, today I'm talking with his opponent, Carl Marlinga, a retired judge and prosecutor from the Democratic Party in a district that includes Macomb County. In a one-on-one interview, I asked what voters can expect as part of his platform.
I was a prosecutor. I was a judge. I depend on evidence. There is no evidence that there is anything that is insecure or fraudulent about our system.
In a one-on-one sit-down interview from inside a campaign office in Sterling Heights, retired judge and former prosecutor Carl Marlinga is talking politics and the importance of this upcoming election. In the last race against opponent John James, he lost by roughly only 1,600 votes. Top of the list for many voters, inflation and economy. What would you do to address those? I asked him about the issues voters say are among the most critical.
What we have to do is to have alternatives to oil and gas in order to bring the price of oil and gas down. It doesn't matter how much you drill. In fact, if you drilled more, Venezuela and Saudi Arabia would drill less to keep more oil off the market.
Marlinga says he supports the auto industry here at home.
We have to end reliance on these foreign suppliers, whether it's from China or somebody else.
And abroad, he says he wants to help allies, including Israel and Ukraine, to defend themselves. The U.S. is continuing to support Israel and continuing to support Ukraine. Do you want to see more money spent?
We have to make sure that Ukraine has the weapons, the aid, the ability to defend itself. We have to be ready, willing, and able to support our allies. That means allow Israel to defend itself against Iranian aggression.
On women's rights, he wants voters also to know.
You and nobody else have the right to determine what you should do with your body, whether it be for IVF, for abortion, for whatever. This is your body. These are your choices.
On the border, Marlinga is expressing the crucial need to establish a better system. He says that should include a way to tell those who legitimately need asylum, apart from those simply coming over illegally. He says existing cases must also be tackled.
For a time, maybe a year, maybe two, the Attorney General should appoint about 8,000 temporary immigration law judges, a massive number, but there are a lot of retired judges, like I am, to take care of the backlog. Once we get the backlog, then that means that the people who have valid claims to stay here because you don't want to send them back to be tortured and killed, they can stay here, but the others who just falsely claimed asylum when they had no right to asylum, they would be sent back.
Closer to home, Marlinga feels more must be done to keep kids safe. Michigan State University, Oxford, Rochester Hills. How do we prevent mass shootings?
Universal background checks. You don't allow weapons to be sold at gun shows. You don't allow private sale of weapons. You make sure that everybody who's going to come into possession of a gun has a background check. It also means safe storage. We've got to take the common sense gun regulation that we have in Michigan and make it nationwide.
He tells me he has full confidence in this election being run fairly, and he's counting on voters to show up to the polls to make their voices heard.
We have a very secure system.
As a husband and father, Marlinga says he is proud to have been elected to other offices in Macomb County, and he believes he can truly make a difference in Washington. I also sat down with Marlinga's opponent, Republican John James, yesterday, and next Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll continue to profile candidates for U.S. Senate, Mike Rogers and Alyssa Slotkin, and you'll be able to watch each profile on our website, WXYZ.com.